Welcome to Organic Chemistry 2 for the summer of 2024. Some of you have already completed Organic Chemistry 1, and so this video will be very similar to what you started with at the beginning of that course. If you're new to having me for Organic Chemistry or to John Carroll as a whole, then I'm going to go through how to navigate the Canvas course, the textbook, and other materials that you'll need for this semester's course, this 4-week summer course. So let's get started with, once I open the course up, which I will have done by the time you get this video, when you open it up, you'll see the home page, and the first thing on the homepage that's important is this link. This is the link to my Zoom room, or my Zoom appointment room. So whenever you make an appointment with me, this is the link that you will use. This is the syllabus, but it's always conveniently located on the homepage of the course. So this is Organic Chemistry 2. Organic Chemistry 1 and 2 comprise a 1-year study in organic chemistry. And organic chemistry is basically broadly defined as the chemistry of carbon compounds. In this semester, we are going to talk about reactions similar to the end of your Organic 1 course. And we're going to again go through functional groups. And a functional group is just a unique collection of bonded atoms that have same physical or have similar physical and chemical properties. So we're going to start with alcohols and go through to esters, ketones, other carbonyl compounds this semester. Mechanisms will be important, and so we'll be talking about mechanisms for each reaction. Also, I'm going to have a brief overview of spectroscopy, meaning infrared, mass spectrometry, and nuclear magnetic resonance, or NMR spectroscopy, at the end of the course. This is important as it may be on the final exam, but some schools have this in their lecture courses. At John Carroll, this is in our lab course. So I want to make sure that at least the basics are covered in this lecture course. So in our Top Hat textbook that we will go into in a few minutes, we're going to cover chapters 12 through 23. And the detailed day-by-day outline of the topics can be found on the course website and Canvas website, and so now we'll talk about that. So when you came into this homepage, you are now watching the Start Here Welcome video. This isn't linked right now because I'm recording it. You can get some information in this box, for instance, course syllabus, how to purchase the Top Hat textbook, and the schedule of daily lecture topics, which will be in each day's materials, and we'll go over that in a moment. There are links to previous year's exams for both Organic 1 and Organic 2. I'm not going to click on this link right now because by the time you see it, it will be updated so that you don't have to go to the modules. And then there are other links here. The most important of the remaining ones is the Ask Questions Here discussion board. If you have a question during the course, you can email me, you can schedule a Zoom appointment, or you can also click the Ask Questions Here, go on the discussion board, and you can ask your question, and then I or perhaps another peer will answer it. So you can always have access to the discussion board, and I have it set up so that when somebody asks a question, it emails me, and then I can go ahead and go in and answer the question when it's possible for me to do so. So going back to the homepage then, let's talk about the course syllabus briefly. So when you open up a page, if there is a document within that page, you'll see it hyperlinked here. The arrow, if you're not familiar with Canvas, the arrow allows you to download it. Although if you just click on the document, it will open up and you can download it if necessary using the download button. I will recommend for the PowerPoint lecture notes that you download those because some of them take quite a while to open up, and you're going to need to download them to use them on your computer or other tablet device, or even print them out on paper. So information here where my office is at John Carroll. If you happen to be on campus, my office phone number, and the course and section number. The link to the Canvas page, and then the link to making an appointment with me. So we'll come back to this in a moment. So I'm going to send out announcements through Canvas. If you don't have your Canvas set up to then forward that announcement as an email to you, you should do that. And then you can respond to it and it'll come to the John Carroll Gmail system. You should check for messages at least once a day to keep up to date. You could also use the Canvas course calendar to keep track of your due dates, although I'll show you where those are in the course materials. You email me during the day, and I usually kind of cut off my availability at 9 p.m. I usually will respond. If it's after 9 p.m., I will respond in the morning. If something is really important, put important, time sensitive, or urgent in the subject line, and then I know that should be a priority for me to answer. My office hours are basically all days of the week. I think on Saturday and Sunday I have this limited to 12 to 5. But again, if you want to make an appointment, you can use this link to the You Can Book Me website, and you can always email me and I'll answer you as I have time. So let's look at scheduling an appointment. So if you click on that link of mnicholsjcu.youcanbook.me, it'll take you to this website. Since this summer, this is the only link that's available. If you click on it, it will take you to my calendar. And then, for instance, if I wanted to make an appointment with me today, I would hit July 5th, and then all of the open times that you can meet with me are here. These are in 15-minute blocks. If anything is blocked out because I have meetings or I'm not available, then these will be unavailable. So you can click on these. You want to note that this ends, the availability of this ends usually an hour before you want to make an appointment. So it may not be as simple as just making an instantaneous appointment. You may want to plan ahead, at least an hour in advance. If you need multiple blocks, you can go ahead and click on that. All the meetings will be on that link to Zoom that is on the home page of the Canvas course. Okay, so that's how you can make an appointment with me. And for instance, if I looked at Saturday, you can see it's between 12 and 5. So I do have some availability on the weekends. If not, I will block these out, and you can always email me. Okay, so that's how to use the You Can Book Me website. The course description for this is listed is here in the syllabus. It's very similar to what was on the front, the home page of the Canvas site. We are going to go through functional groups from alcohols to carbonyls, and we will also touch on very briefly infrared mass spectrometry and NMR spectroscopy at the end of the course. What this course, the requirements of this course for different majors if you're a JCU student. If you're not, then you've had it approved to transfer back to your home institution. All right, so this is an online asynchronous course. And what that means is that the content's delivered by lecture videos, the electronic Top Hat organic textbook, problems, questions, responses in the discussion board, and then graded problems, which I'll show you where those are on Canvas, on the Canvas site, And then there are a bunch of ungraded problems both in the Top Hat textbook and the Canvas site. There's no synchronous class meeting times. I have organized the material day by day to help you keep up, but basically we will work week to week. All the assignments for a week will be due on Saturday by noon, and all exams after July 8th, after the first day, all the exams will be on Monday, and then the Friday of the last week, August 3rd, is when the final exam will be. So that's what's listed here. I'll talk more about that. The course goals and student learning outcomes are basically listed, and you can read those. The correlation of those learning outcomes to the university's academic student learning outcomes for John Carroll are also listed here. How will we assess your progress? We will use both formative assessments and summative assessments. In education speak, formative assessments are low-stakes assignments. They provide me, as a whole, a view of how the class is doing, how everyone's doing. And for you, they provide you an opportunity to see how you are doing. If you don't do well on a quiz, or if you're struggling with a quiz, it's a perfect time to ask questions. The formative, the low-stakes assessments are online quiz questions, which should be done after you watch the lecture video. They don't have to be done right away. They will all be due by Saturday at noon. There are online quiz questions embedded in the Top Hat textbook, which I will show you. And then there's also graded and ungraded practice problems, which basically is an overlap of the online quiz questions. High stakes, higher stakes assignments are the exams. There will be a multiple choice comprehensive final that includes Organic 1 at the end of the semester, and 3 major written exams where you will be writing out your answers and then scanning or taking a picture of that exam, of the completed exam, and uploading it to the Dropbox for me to grade. So those are the way that the grades will be calculated. So the format of the course is, this is an asynchronous online course, and so I hate to say this, but the burden is on you to keep up to date and to complete each day's materials, hopefully that day. If you get behind, things are going to move very quickly, and it may not be possible to get caught up. Okay, so I will show you this in a minute, but let me just tell you or show you what will be involved for each week. So in each week, there are resources, lecture videos, the blank PowerPoint notes for those videos, reading assignments from Top Hat, the correlated online problems, and the online problems from Top Hat are graded for participation. I have them set up so you have an unlimited number of tries, and it will show you the correct answer. So that I grade those on participation, not correctness. The activities include online quizzes and graded practice problems, and they really aren't practice problems, they're graded, so those you will be graded on correctness. It's going to be very important to stay on task, because at the end of the week you have to turn in your materials, and that following Monday there will be an exam. And I'll talk more about the exams in a minute. This class is 4 weeks long. If you get too far behind, it's going to be very disastrous. So you must keep up on materials. As far as the lecture videos in the textbook, you can either watch the lecture videos and then read the assigned sections of the textbook, or you could read the assigned sections of the textbook first and then watch the video. Whatever is the most effective for you, but you have to do both. Okay. So once you've done that, you should answer the questions in the online quizzes and the Top Hat, and you must keep up on that. The online quizzes, again, are graded on correctness. The top hat problems are graded on participation. But the top hat problems sometimes have material, well, most of the time they have material that will be important to determine, do I know this topic? That would be important before you take the exam. There are a bunch of additional problems and old exams. Those problems are just there if you need additional practice problems. To be honest with you, getting through the required materials is going to require good time management skills. So if you do have extra time, there are extra problems available. If you're struggling with something, that's a good time to ask a question, either through email to me, through a meeting, through Zoom, or putting it in the discussion board. Okay, and this class is completely online. Tried to set it up as best I could with the online discussion board to give you a chance to interact with peers. This is a content-heavy course, and you just have to be prepared for that. So it is going to be it's going to be challenging to keep up, and so you want to get yourself into a rhythm very quickly. So we'll have 3 exams. Each exam is on Monday, starting are scheduled on Monday, not starting July 8th, starting July 15th in week 2. There'll be written exams where there'll be a PDF. You can download that, print it, use your electronic device, tablet, computer, and you're going to complete the exam. And then you're going to, once it's completed, upload it to the Canvas Dropbox. All exams open up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they have to be submitted back to me by 11:59 that day. If you have accommodations, then I will make accommodations through that time frame. Now, for the exams, because they will take a little bit of time, they will be open note and open textbook. Okay, but they are not open other human beings, nor are they open other internet resources. So the final exam will be multiple choice, and it will be timed. So when you open it up, you'll have 3 hours to complete it. It will be online, multiple choice, and so you'll have to go through each question and answer it within that time frame. The textbook is Organic Chemistry 1 and 2 Top Hat textbook. I'll show you where you can get that in a moment. At the end of the syllabus, it has the details on that. If you'd like to have a hard copy, or you do have a hard copy, my recommendation is something like the Wade textbook. And in the specific case of Wade, anywhere from the 6th to the 9th edition are virtually identical. And then, of course, you need access to the Canvas website. If you have molecular models, or you would like molecular models, those may be helpful for you. You can usually get those at places like eBay or Amazon. And if you were on campus, the JCU bookstore. But those can sometimes be helpful. And so you can get those there. So the exam schedule is, the first exam is July 15th, July 22nd, third exam is July 29th, and then Friday, August 2nd is the final exam. I said the third because technically that's when the course ends on that Saturday. And you'll know what the exact material is for each exam. Exams are worth 20% each, including the final. The remaining 20% is graded homework and online quizzes is 13%, and then top hat problems and occasional reflection here and there that are worth 7%. And here is the grading scale. So there aren't any formal lecture periods or classes, but all assignments for the week are due by the following Saturday at noon. So you should try very hard to hit that deadline. If you get me those by 5 o'clock or so, there won't be a penalty. Obviously, if you get too far behind, that's not going to bode well for the exam the following Monday. If you have missed classes, then you'll have to contact the JCU Office of Academic Success and provide them documentation. And excused and unexcused absences are listed here. The final exam must be completed by so this was last semester's. I didn't catch this typo. The grades are going to be due August 5th. And so 3 o'clock that following Monday of the last week, I have to have all grades in. So if we had an excused situation, then we have to, that's when you would have to have it made up, or you would have to get it incomplete. If that situation arises, we'll walk you through that. I guess there's always a possibility that the university may cancel courses. There are no holidays in this particular course, so there won't be any automatic days off. If we have an internet failure or Top Hat or Canvas server outages, then I will send out an email through Canvas or through email, JCU email, to tell you what the problem is. So we'll work through this if there are any issues. The policy on missed exams is here. I like to know ahead of time or just after an issue has arisen, because the longer I go without knowing about the problem, the more difficult it will be to find a solution. Okay. And here's the policy for missed exams. You can read the statement on accessibility, discrimination, sexual harassment, and bias. That is all here. And then the statement on academic policy or academic honesty. Academic honesty is in this lecture course would probably the most likely academically dishonest things that you could do would be using an internet or a human resource for exams. And even though this is an online asynchronous class, when I get exams that have very similar answers to every question, I get suspicious. I may not act on that suspicion, but it's very apparent if you're working on exams together remotely. It's very, very apparent to me. Okay, so do not do that. And if that's the case, and I decide to consider that academic dishonesty, both parties will be charged in that. I'm not going to spend time trying to figure out who cheated from who. Okay, so work on exams and quizzes individually, and keep that in mind. At the moment, AI is not really good for organic chemistry, as it does not draw. When it comes time for it to learn how to draw organic structures, then we'll deal with that. But just a note about AI as a resource. I have access to a number of AI platforms. I just recently completed an online class on teaching with AI resources, so I'm kind of up to date. Every time I try and use an AI resource to draw organic structures, it fails miserably and sometimes spectacularly. So just remember that in general, an AI generated answer may be incomplete, incorrect. It may use terminology that we didn't use in lecture. And it is sometimes, although not always, apparent when people are using AI resources. AI resources are internet-based, and so therefore you are not permitted to use them on exams. To be honest, the way it stands now with AI and organic, you'd have the answer that it would give you. You would have to actually know what's going on. So that might be a limitation on you using it. Okay, the Top Hat textbook, which is the next thing we'll go over. You purchase the Top Hat textbook by going to this site. Our join code is 431688. That will join you into the textbook when you purchase it. That is the same organic textbook that was used for the CH2210 Organic 1 course this past 4 weeks, so in summer of 2024. So if you have access to that Top Hat textbook, that version, you don't have to purchase it again. If you have access to another Top Hat textbook in another semester, then you won't have to purchase the textbook again because everything will match up. But you won't be able to do the problems because you've probably already done the problems in the past. So in that case, I'll email you and we'll make sure that you've completed all of those. But this is the Top Hat textbook. Go here in this link and then use that join code if you do not have and have not used the Top Hat textbook before. And the rest of this is just troubleshooting Top Hat. Okay, so that's the syllabus. Let me go back here and let's look at the schedule of daily topics. So the schedule of daily topics has a listing for each day of the text section, the topic from the Top Hat textbook, and the problems that are in that section. So if you wanted to keep up on a day-to-day basis, which I would strongly recommend, for instance, for Monday, it'll be text section will be 12.0 to 12.4, all of these topics, and then these are the problems that are associated with those Top Hat textbook topics. So these would be the problems that you would want to do for that day to keep up to date. Okay. Then Tuesday, these topics, all the way down to here, chapter 12, chapter 13, and all the problems. Okay. With this being, I just have to say this, with this being a 4-week course, there are basically the way it's set up is there are basically 2 regular course periods in the regular semester that we are doing each day over the summertime. Okay, that's literally twice the speed. That's just the nature of summer courses. So this is where you will find this. This is duplicated in the course materials itself. Okay, so that you can download, but it's also repeated in the course materials section as well. Okay, so on Sunday, July 7th, July 7th. I will open up week 1. I'll open it up on the Sunday before class officially starts on the 8th. Right now you have access to the course syllabus and how to purchase the topics, the classroom, and the schedule of daily topics. So I suppose if you're overly ambitious, you could get the Top Hat textbook and start reading those sections before Monday, and the course officially opens up. But I am going to open up the page because it is completed, and I'll show you what you will see on Sunday. So, week 1, you will see what we're going to do this week. And again, it's broken down day by day. So here's Monday, July 8th. The first thing I would like you to ask you to do, if you were not enrolled in Organic 1 or you have not had me for a previous course. We should change that, shouldn't we? Well, we'll do that after this. So if you were not enrolled in Organic 1 or you've not had me for a previous course at John Carroll, please click on the introductory quiz and answer the questions. And you can do this if you've had me as well. So what university do you attend? What's your major? Do you have any minors or concentrations? What year are you in? What's your current career goals? And what other chemistry, biology courses have you taken? And then do you have a job or other activities that'll impact whether or not or how you're taking this course? The reason I ask that final question is because, as you can already get the impression, this is a content-heavy course and it's going to be very compressed. So if you have a 9-to-5 job, you're going to have to balance your time to be able to complete the course materials every week. Okay, so just know that ahead of time. So fill this introductory quiz out if you have not had me for a course, or if you were not in Organic Chemistry 1 over the summertime. You can fill it out if you'd like, just to give me some background. Then, if you were not enrolled in Organic 1, please make an appointment with me by clicking on the scheduler and scheduling a 15-minute Zoom appointment. This may be the only time that I directly talk to you during the semester. So for people that I have not met, I'd like to just go over some things for 15 minutes. So please do that. If you've had me for a course or you had me in Organic 1 this summer, you don't necessarily have to do that, although you can if you'd like. Then, for Monday, here are the PowerPoint lecture notes. When you click on them, particularly, it opened up right away. Sometimes it opens up right away, sometimes it doesn't. If you click this download button, it will then download them for you. But these are the blank PowerPoint notes that you're going to see in the lecture video. So then to get the lecture video, you go here and it will have the lecture video. For most classes, there are two lecture videos, part 1 and part 2. The lecture notes, the blank lecture notes are here. There are written lecture notes here, although these are just here to provide them to you. But I wouldn't just click on the lecture notes and not watch the video. And as a matter of fact, I hope everybody knows that on Canvas, if the instructor hits the Insights button, they can see whether people have watched the video or not. Now, one just note, I can't change these dates. The dates of the videos, I can't change. Canvas won't let me change them. So this is July 8th for this year. In a previous summer course, it was July 13th. But the videos are all matched up. So don't worry about these dates. The other thing, and I didn't quite remember that I did this, but for some of the videos at the beginning of the semester, you will see it'll say there's a lecture video quiz. Don't worry about this, but let me show you what happens. So this was a brilliant idea that I had to abandon. So you'll only see this for the first couple of lectures. But these quizzes I embedded during the summer of 2020, during the COVID summer, when I first developed this asynchronous online course. So when you see this, if you just click Get Started, it will go to the lecture video, and you will hear me talk. So, number 1, this is a 1 hour and 50-minute lecture. Yes, it's a 1 hour and 50-minute lecture. I am not constrained by the 50-minute class period in an asynchronous online course. Now, that being said, about week 2, the lecture videos will only be 55 minutes. Okay, this is the way it was structured during the COVID. Each one of these question marks is where the video will stop. That's the online quiz. So if I went like, let's
Right.
go here.
We know about elimination reactions.
Let's start.
We know about oxidation reactions in terms of last semester's oxidative cleavage. And we also will know
And as
about
you can see, I
reductions
will
here
write on the
at
screen.
the
I
end
will
of,
talk.
are they eliminations or are they oxidation reactions? So when the video stops, you can go ahead and answer that question. Remember, these are graded on participation. So, you're just going to give it your best educated guess. If
They are not graded on participation. They are not graded, but the video will stop, and then it will ask you. In this case, it's going to ask you what kind of reactions these are. So let's get to that point just so I can illustrate it. Okay, so it stopped. Are these two reactions substitution, elimination, or oxidation? So what you can do, you could rewatch it or just answer the question.
Okay.
My
So
guess is
whenever
these are
you're-
substitutions. Okay. And then you'll hear me come back and say, and give you the answer. These are not graded. They're embedded in the video. I can't get rid of them. So it'll give you a chance as you're watching the video to think about what you just heard. Okay, but they are not graded. I can't get rid of them, so they're there. Okay, so just so that you know that. So there's the first video for Monday, and here is the second video for Monday.
Okay, the last
Okay, and again, same thing.
synthesis of an alcohol.
If you click on it, it will go through the second part of the lecture video. Okay, so there's typically 2 videos per day. The early ones are going to be a lot longer than the later ones, which will only be limited to 55 minutes a piece. So just so you know ahead of time. But that's where you're going to go to get the lecture videos. And the lecture notes will be there as well. The reading assignment for today is listed here. This is the same listing that was in the lecture topics, the daily lecture topics that I showed you in the original homepage. Then we get to, here's a listing of the top hat questions, and then here are our online quizzes for Monday. So you'll see that they are either multiple choice questions, where you're going to go through and answer the question. Sometimes they will be written out questions where you fill in the blank. Just a note, on Canvas, all fill in the blank questions have to be graded by hand. So it will mark them wrong if your answer doesn't match mine, space for space, period for period, comma for comma. So I go back when I see that somebody's submitted them, usually at the end of the day, I go through and I grade them. So if you get like a 2 out of 12, don't panic because I haven't graded it by hand. Right? If it's still at 2 out of 12 after I've graded it, you need to go back and look at the material again or schedule a meeting. Okay, so these are online quizzes that you will do, and then there will be written quizzes. So the written quizzes, you can download the quiz, and then you're going to write the answers out, and then you're going to either take a picture or a scan and upload it into the Dropbox. If I click here, it kind of tells you some of the options you have. You could use Cam Scanner or Office Lens, or you could just take a picture, upload the picture. As long as it's not an HEIC format picture, which is sort of the newer iPhones use, I can handle it, and I can handle an HEIC picture. It just takes me a little bit longer. Or you can just take the picture, paste it into Word or Google Doc, and then save it as a PDF file and then upload it then. That's the easiest way, but you'll upload it to the Dropbox. And then I will grade it. For online quizzes, it will show you the correct answers after you have taken and completed that quiz. At the end of the week, I will put the answer key up. If you answer these questions early on, I might email you the answer key ahead of time so that you get some instant, or you get some fairly instant feedback. And at the end of each day, there may be some ungraded practice problems. As you can see, there's tons of practice problems that you can have. It's going to be hard to spend a lot of time on those, considering all the assignments and reading and lecture videos each day. Okay, that's just the nature of a 4-week course. Okay, then Tuesday we start all over again. Download the PowerPoint lecture notes, watch the video, read the textbook, complete the quizzes, and if you're still alive, there's some practice problems. Okay. So every week there'll be 5 days of material. Then at the end of the week, there may be a reflection. You want to complete the reflection. This week's reflection is the same reflection that many of you had in week 1 of Organic 1. How's the first week gone? How overwhelmed are you? Again, that sense of being overwhelmed is going to be natural because this class is going to go at a relatively fast pace. Okay, but you'll complete the reflection, which is in a discussion, and so you'll complete the reflection. That is in the 7% along with the top hat problems. Okay. Also at the end of the week, there will not be a topic outline. That will be gone. So at the end of the week, you may have a reflection. And then for some of the Organic 2 topics, I have review sheets that you can look at. These were originally answers to student questions, but there's some review sheets about, for instance, protecting alcohols as siloethers, or deprotonating alcohols, or epoxide ring opening. So these are just extra kind of review sheets that are listed for the week's material. And so they're kind of added materials that you can have access to. Okay. So that's week 1. And so that's what you're going to do next week, and this will open up on Sunday morning, so that you can begin your work. Okay, now let's talk about the Top Hat textbook, and then the video will end. So, Top Hat textbook, we are using the join code 431688, as was in the syllabus. This is how mine looks. Yours may look more like this, and when you hit the coursework, it will come up with the different chapters. Now, chapters 1 through 11 and 16 were done in the Organic 1 course, but you have access to all of those chapters in the Top Hat textbook. So let's go to chapter 12. Okay, in chapter 12, there's two distinct things that you have access to. Number 1, you have the reading assignment. When you click on the reading assignment, it gives you the textbook. So for instance, this is the first set of reading that you will do, section 12.0, Introduction to Alcohols, and then acid-base properties of alcohols. So as you're reading through the book, you'll encounter these questions. These are the questions that are embedded in the Top Hat textbook that are based on, that you answer for participation points. So which of the following equilibria would be shifted to the left? So in other words, for this question, which one of these reactions doesn't really occur? And so is it an alcohol plus an alkoxide? Is it an alkoxide plus an alcohol? Is it a protonated alcohol versus an alkoxide? Which one of these is shifted to the left, which means it doesn't occur very much, right? And so that's, you can read through that. You have unlimited tries. So again, if you make a try, then you will, it'll give you the correct answer eventually. The keeping it real stuff, that's great if you want to learn how to make methamphetamine, which is basic organic chemistry, but illegal. So then we go to synthesis of alcohols, and here's another question. So match the appropriate reagent and mechanism. So for this reaction, what kind of mechanism is it? For this one, what kind of mechanism is it? If you use those reagents, and so you have these multiple choice. Again, these are participation points. The questions embedded in the textbook are the ones for participation. Okay. There is another set of questions that are there strictly for practice, and those are called the homework assignments. In the homework assignments, you have nothing but questions. Okay? Those questions are not graded. They do not count for participation. They are extra problems for you to do if you have time and motivation. But they are there. The only questions that are graded are the ones embedded in the reading. Okay? So those are the ones that you want to do. The homework problems are there for extra practice. And you'll keep access to this textbook. So they're there if you want to review for MCATs or PCATs or whatever AT test that you take in the future. Okay? So that's how we deal with the textbook. It should say Summer 2024 Organic 1, but Organic 1, Organic 2 lecture uses the same textbook. Okay? All right, so I will open up week 1 on Sunday morning, but you'll have access when you get the announcement for this video. You will have a link here to watch the video, and then you can read the course syllabus and get your hands on the organic textbook. Okay, if you have questions, email me. How would you email me? Well, you can just email me at mnichols@jcu.edu. As the syllabus says, you could also post your question to the discussion board. Okay? So the announcements, that's how you're going to get access. That's how you're going to know this video is available. All right, so any questions? Otherwise, you can start working on Monday. Email me, schedule an appointment. But work through the material. It looks intimidating. It looks like there's a lot of work. It is. You just got to take it one step at a time. Okay? So I will see you virtually and interact with you virtually on Monday.